What's happening, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the channel. Before we jump into the topic, I just want to say I hope everybody is doing well out there, especially everybody affected by the recent wildfires here in Southern California. I live 45 minutes outside of LA, so it really hit close to home. So I really do hope everyone is doing well out there. All right, well, let's jump into the topic. Should you become an auto technician in 2025? This is interesting because I made a video in 2017, I made one in 2020, and here I am in 2025 making another one. And when I look at those videos back then, although there's like some fundamental truths in those videos that hold true, the landscape is like totally different now. And things have changed quite a bit, and so has my opinion. Before we get too deep into it, let me give you a quick background on who I am, just so that my opinion holds some kind of credibility. I started off in about 2003, so I've been at it for a long time. I did a trade school for about 10 months and then graduated that trade school, and then I went to a community college because I wanted to learn air conditioning. And the air conditioning program really wasn't that good. And so that was my motivation in the beginning for going to community college, was really to get an air conditioning cert because I wanted to just do air conditioning at that time. But I did have an instructor who told me to at least learn everything first before you make a decision on one thing to specialize in. And so I took his advice, and I'm glad I did, because I didn't end up doing AC. In fact, I rarely did AC, even though I did get like an ASC, or excuse me, I did get a AC certificate while I was there. All right, so fast forward, now I'm working at an independent shop. A lot of the guys that I went to school with ended up going to Ford because the school that I went to, it was like a Ford program, it was a Ford sponsored program. And so Ford was always there, recruiting. So, but I didn't. I went a different way. I didn't want to work at Ford. So I went and worked at an independent shop. And in those days, you had to have 2 years to even of work experience to even take an ASE test. So I worked there so that I could get my 2 years in order that I could take my ASE test. So right around 2007, I kind of hit a real pivotal point and kind of had an epiphany, if you will. It all started with a low oil pressure minivan that came into the shop. So no one wanted to do this minivan. It was kind of a raggedy car. Of course, they threw it to me. So I get the vehicle, and I'm glad I did because, I diagnosed it. Yes, and, confirmed it did have low oil pressure. We recommended an engine replacement. After looking at the vehicle, the other issues that it had, that was the best solution for this person, is to just get another engine. So I put the engine in there, and the job is done, but I get called into the manager's office, or excuse me, the owner's office, because they want to make sure they itemize everything and this person is billed for everything. They thought maybe there are some things missing here. And so, I let them know, new hoses, etc. And they itemized and got everything down. And I noticed when I looked at the bill was about $3,800. Now, that was in 2007's money. If you do the conversion, that's like $6,000 in today's money. And I remember thinking to myself, I did all of that. I diagnosed it. I replaced the engine. I did everything. No one helped me with anything. I even ordered my own parts. And I was thinking to myself, why am I here? They need me more than I need them. And that was kind of like a pivotal point for me. So I became self-employed probably around like 2010 and been self-employed ever since. I started off with like a little small shop. I want to say it was about 2013 maybe. Prior to that, I had been doing mobile for a couple of years and, worked hard, built up a really good reputation, ended up getting a bigger shop. Got these little congratulations, people love you on Yelp. Got those like 2 years in a row. And then I started getting into selling cars, and that's a whole nother video in itself. So that's a little bit about me. I mean, obviously there's a lot more, but just in a nutshell, just give you a little background that I do have experience in the automotive field. And if you are liked and you have really good reviews and a good reputation, that means you were really fixing problems. Because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. So that means I was accurately diagnosing and repairing vehicles. And that's why I had the good reviews that I had. So with that being said, should you become an auto technician in 2025? And I don't think you should. And here's why. I think that for in this day and age, I think auto repair has really gotten upside down. This industry has had so many problems for so long. And I think a lot of people are fed up with it. If you look, there's videos online about their shortages in the automotive repair industry. And really what they're not saying is not that there's people not coming into the auto repair field, but what's actually really happening is there's a lot of people that's actually leaving the auto repair industry on top of people not coming in. And so really that's where the shortage is coming from. So of course, everything has its pros and cons. Same thing with auto repair. But the problem is that there's way more cons in auto repair than there are in pros. The only real pros that I could think of in auto repair is that you can repair your own vehicle, friends, family. You never really have to pay for auto repair ever again. And that kind of saves you a lot of money. Auto repair is not cheap. So that's a huge pro. And the opportunity to become self-employed like I did. All the rest are going to be cons. At this point, it's really not worth it. There's a lot of effort that goes into being able to properly diagnose and repair vehicles. And there's this weird dynamic that's going on right now where employers and companies and people in general's perception of what an auto technician is totally out of touch with reality in terms of like how much technical knowledge and ability we have and what they think we are and what we are worth from a financial standpoint. With all the technology in vehicles today that's practically self-driving and the large computer networks that monitors all the different systems in the vehicle, that you have to be able to, first of all, grasp how they work and be able to diagnose and repair them. Again, the perception of an auto technician is far off. To put it simply, it's like they pay you like a janitor, but really you're doing rocket science. Of course, that's exaggerated, but you get what I'm saying. So as long as I've been into this industry, I've met more guys who have left it and never came back than more people like knocking down the door to try to get in. Lots of people leave this industry. Not many people stick around. If you look on YouTube and you look at the successful guys on YouTube, the majority of them are business owners, are independent. They work for themselves. There's not very many guys on there that's successful, that's working for some chain or working for a dealership. You don't really see that because in that scenario, with corporate greed and things like that, you're pretty much expendable. So most of the successful technicians that you see, even the ones on YouTube, went the self-employment route or used to work at a dealership and now do YouTube full time, which is also, self-employment. So that's really the only way to go in auto repair if you want to be successful. Other than that, I don't really recommend in 2005 that anybody get into this industry, especially with new players in the game now. You have plug-in hybrids, you have electric vehicles that's starting to dominate the market. So that means that there's going to have to be an upgrade in what a lot of technicians know. So there's going to have to be more education and more schooling to be able to learn how to properly repair these vehicles. And a lot of times it's hard to get information because these dealerships only want to keep this stuff in-house. They don't want to share this information so that independents could be able to profit from it. So it gets difficult in that area. And that's another reason why you could just avoid the trouble and just get into a different repair field. Now, obviously, for you guys that have been in the field for a long time, this doesn't really apply to you. This is for those that's thinking about getting into the field or thinking about making a career change from another field. I really don't think right now is a good time to get into auto repair. There's way too much that you're going to have to invest into this that you won't get the return on. And I haven't even got into what you have to buy, because obviously if you get hired on as an auto technician, you have to supply your own tools. And there's a lot of tools that you need to own, okay? A lot. And every auto technician knows that. And getting into it, that's something that you need to consider. And it seems like the longer you stay into it, the larger and larger your tool storage gets. And you end up buying tools. A lot of times you only need to use it one time just to finish a job, and you never even use that tool again. So there's a lot that you have to invest that you may not necessarily get back. I do recommend, if you are sort of a blue collar person and you want to like to work with your hands, you want to learn a skill, there's lots of other skilled trades out there. HVAC, plumbing, electricians get paid very well. Concrete, there's construction, home remodeling, drywall, roofing. There's lots of different trades. Now, I can't speak to the nuances of those particular trades, but there are lots of other trades that you should investigate. But I don't think that auto repair, you should get into auto repair. It's just really not worth your time. You can make the same amount of money, if not more, with far less trouble. So I'm going to leave with this. I do think that if you do get into this field and you just have to, try to go the self-employment route. If you're not the type of person that like to be self-employed and don't want to take those type of risks, I recommend you get into like a salary type job, like working for the state or the police department, the school district, the post office, UPS, FedEx. All these places have vehicles. Someone's repairing these vehicles. Find out, apply for it, try to get a job in that area and avoid the dealerships, the independents. It's a lot of mess in that area. And there could be some on this other side too, but it's going to be a lot less than dealing with the pay system and the corporate greed that goes on the dealership level. All right, guys, that's my little 2 cents on whether or not you should become an auto mechanic in 2005. I really don't think it's worth it. Learning auto repair is one thing, but actually doing it for a living is another. So I'm not against actually learning auto repair if you just want to know for yourself. There's certainly nothing wrong with that, but I don't think that it's a good idea to do it for a living in this day and age. I definitely think you'll be better off getting into a different field. So anyway, this is Brian's Garage. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next one.